Hey, so I am back with this here Botanist's journal that I started. It was actually yesterday. Still having a rainy, well, it's not so rainy today, but it is cold. And you will notice that I have on sleeves today. Yesterday, I don't think I had any sleeves on. Today, it's cold. We're having one last hurrah for winter, I guess. So it's already, we're into April and normally it's kind of calm. And I'm always giving you the weather report, but that's just really important to us, especially because we grow things and we have things out in the greenhouse that are dying to get out. And anyway, and it's really screwing up my lighting because I still don't have hardly any natural light in here from my window because it's super gloomy out and did I mention cold? So, anyway, I am now ready I'm ready to put my signature in here. I have a really good idea, and I'll share it with you later about what I'm going to stick in that flap. But right now, I want to work on the signature and get that in. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my tags out. And I realize I did not ink my tags around them when I made those. So, but I'm not done because I still got to figure out what I'm going to put. If I'm going to put a string or a ribbon, or I don't want anything to be too fancy. I mean, I know that these images are great and pretty and all that good stuff, but I also again just really want to make it look rustic and like it's something that you can take out in the field, out there tromping around in the forest or wherever you're going to tromp around and look for specimens and stuff. So anyway, let me get, I still have those other pieces up there that are kind of glaring. So let me get those out of the way. But anyway, I've got those are basically ready to go. So we're going to put those out of the way. And I'm going to use a combination of copy paper and notebook paper that I've stained. Ooh, that one's good. That makes me wonder what kind of tea am I drinking. Um, Sorry for the shadows. Just trying to get the lights all straightened out here. Anyway, but I know that these are different sizes. So let's recap the size of our book. It is, so it's basically just under 11 inches, which makes sense because remember, this was a 12-inch piece of paper, and that's basically about an inch. You got to figure in the fold a little bit there, so that makes sense. So we're looking at about a little under 11 inches, and the height on it is, again, it's that about 8 1/4. So the copy paper has is normally what? It's 8 1/2 by 11 normally. So yeah, that's what that is. Oh, it's kind of under 11. I wonder if it shrinks when I tea stain it. I wonder if the being in the water kind of shrinks it. I don't know. I'm not sure they're exactly 8 1/2 by 11 when you buy them. That seems smaller too, but that's okay. So, but I think I'm going over a little bit there in the height and the width, because if this is 11 or a little under and that's 11, yeah, it's gonna show. So I am gonna trim a little bit off, because even though I don't mind it being a little bit shaggy, I don't know, I don't want a whole bunch of extra stuff hanging out. Not on this. So I need to just go through and do about a 1/2 inch off the side and the height and the width. That's what I'll say. And on the, I was already trying this out. On the notebook paper, it's perfect. Look at that. It's exactly the right size, nice and crinkly. I may put the holes at the bottom, but I'm not going to get rid of them. I'm not going to cut them off or anything. So I think I'm going to do that. And so those are fine. So I'm just going to, I don't know how many I'm going to do. I don't want to do a ton, but I want it to have some heft. That one's got a little tear in it, and that's okay too. Remember, we're going rustic here. Let's just see what this looks like. Just do up a few. Yeah. Okay. I'm also doing a little test on my microphone. I noticed that in the part 1 video for this, that I was having a lot of kind of weird interference, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought I was hitting my mic, or I'm wearing it so that it's up near my mouth, but I thought I was hitting it. I thought my hair was getting into it. I wasn't sure what was going on with it, and I realized that maybe because I try to, it's hard to kind of see because my camera's, I'm actually using my phone and it's up above where I'm working. So unless I stand up, I can't really see, can't monitor myself and see if I'm, in frame or, because sometimes I tend to go out of frame and work on things, closer to me, which is way down here and y'all can't see. But I've been using a little TV that I keep in here, and I'm wondering if that was the problem, because I'm not using it right now, and I just got through testing this, and it all appears to be in good shape. So now I'm moving over here, and I'm finding my cutter, because I want to cut some of these down. I think I'm going to use all these. All of, how many did I end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 pages. And I like that guy. Oh, I saw when I was looking through here. I'm not sure what happened when I was doing this one group. It's kind of weird. It's like I got this weird stain, and I kind of like it. It's I think it has to do with what I was drawing these on my racks, and it's weird because I've never had that do that before, but this is kind of neat because look, it's almost like it makes like little lines, like something's been written there, or you could actually write on the lines. Remember, I need lines. But I think I'm going to use a couple of those, so I'll get those going. And here's one with some lines going the other direction. I don't know if you can, they're real faint, but it goes into focus there, and you can see that there's some lines going that way. That's another kind of weirdly stained one. This one's got some interest to it. So I think I'm going to do, I'll do one of these. I think I'm going to do 5 and 5. I think that's going to be plenty of paper. So I've got, did I get 5? Let's check real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did. Okay. So I'm going to be lazy and live life on the edge and do a 1/2 inch cut right here. Oh, it's moving on me. Okay. Line up my lines. Line up my lines. Okay, somebody's pulling in, so I'm going to have to stop here in a minute. A dog may bark, and then I'll come back. Okay, so now got my about 10 and a half. Looking again here. Make sure everything's looking right. Yeah. I don't have a lot of room when I've got this out here. Okay. So then I go in here. I don't know. Maybe I better not do all 5. I almost lost it. I almost lost it last time. So let's just do them one at a time. It'll only take me a moment. Yeah. And, you know, they don't have to be perfect. So, like that. I'm not really paying attention to what end I'm cutting off. I don't care. I think they look pretty standard. Need some crinkly paper. That sounds kind of rough when I'm going through it. Actually, I am gonna take this off. Whoops, I got it turned wrong. Because I don't want to miss out on my little funky-do lines on that paper. I think this other one is going to be the same way. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes I think I need to check my blade on this because every time I try to, when I cut from down, from up to down like this, everything works out great. But when I cut from below and go up, it wants to hang. It didn't do it as bad there, but if it was anything thicker than just a regular 20-pound piece of paper, it would give me heck. So I need to check into that. I'll bet I need a new blade is probably what's going on. So anyway, all right, let me make sure. Okay, I'm probably screwing up my mic again because I'm touching it. So here we are with this. And I don't know, am I gonna maybe I should alternate my pages. So I need to get these folded. Oh, they're so nice and crinkly. I like it. There's something about old crispy paper. And even though this isn't really old crispy paper, I made it kind of old and crispy. I definitely made it crispy anyway. Okay, this one I had tried to fold before when it was the larger size it was. So now I gotta refold that one. So I think on this one I'll go this way. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, see this little hairy area right here. And I would fuss about that if it mattered, but it doesn't actually matter here because I don't mind for it to be like that for this. Oh yeah, there's that stem. Let's put that in the middle. Okay. All right, we've got all our pages cut and folded. And I'm just going to grab, I think I'll start with this one. I'll go, yeah, I think I am going to put, I think I'll put the holes at the bottom of each of them. There's that guy. And this one. And this cool dude. And there's that. And that. Okay, just to be weird, I'm going to go ahead and leave that one up with the holes up. Not weird, but you know, different. And see if anybody notices. You know, sometimes you do stuff and it's like, does anybody really even notice that I did that? I mean, you kind of think it's profound and you have to bring it to everybody's attention because nobody noticed. And you thought that it would be so clever. I don't know anything about any of that. Okay, so there's our, and see, it's still a little puffy. I like it though, and it definitely is all inside there. I think we're going to be okay. So we've got lots of good pages there. So oftentimes I like to add a little something extra, like maybe an envelope to give us a little extra, maybe a tuck pocket or something that could happen. And I was thinking about the fact that I have somewhere around here, oh, it's up here. I had tea stained some CD DVD envelopes. Oh my gosh, I had a ton of these left over from a long time ago when we used to, you know, put things on CDs like photos and stuff. Anyway, found a box of them, so I tea stained them, and I love how cruddy that looks, and even the plastic got stained, and I love it. So this is an opportunity for another pocket in here. But I think what I want to do is, I think I want to add it. Let's see, I'll have to pay attention because I'm probably going to sew this in, and I'm probably going to do like a 3-hole binding. So I maybe ought to put this guy down to one end, either up at the top or down near to the bottom, so that I can catch my center hole and one. That'd probably be good. I'll probably hold it. And I'm going to glue this. I'm going to glue this to this, you know, the outside page. So it's going to be adhered. But what's going to happen is that. So that's going to be kind of cool. But then the opening is there, and I don't think I want that there. I think, and yeah, that's right. That's what I grabbed this for, because I had a scrap piece of this stuff. And I was thinking that I would cover this side of this with that and seal that up and make this be the top, the opening for whatever I want to slide down in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the scissors way over here in the back, and I'm just going to cut right along the edge of this envelope, and I'm kind of doing it blindly. In other words, I can't see it that well because my scissors are in the way. But I think I did a pretty good job right there. So yeah, so that way I can seal this side up. And this side, gosh, do I even need this little deal? I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to put this piece on it. So yeah, but I think I need to glue. I think I need to glue some stuff down here. We kind of got a little gap here. And I've got a little tick mark there. So let me grab some glue and get that going so that that can be drying while I try to figure the rest of it out. Yeah, there's just a few areas that just need a little glue job. Now let me get in here and get this plastic kind of glued down a little. Doesn't have to be much. Get, I guess that. I mean, this is all going to be kind of glued up, so I don't want to get too much over here. Yeah. And I think when I go to glue this piece on, that's going to help me seal that up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I need to cut this down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to step off a minute and trim this instead of moving it back and forth in front of you. But you know I'm still here. I'm just going to trim off all this this edge where it looks like, you know, part of the binding of the book and all that. And then I'll figure out what part. See, I'm already back. What part I'm going to use. This is kind of weird that it's got a, almost like it's missing pigment there. So I'm going to, I know I'm cutting into that big flower, but that's okay. So let's see what I end up with here as I whittle away at it. That's actually pretty perfect right there. It's still got a little bit of that there, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm just going to take that little tiny edge off just so it makes me feel better about it. Kind of tore it a little bit. I got all excited. Yeah. So that's good right there. And I'm just going to round that anyway. So let's just do that. I don't want to do it too big. Just get it just a little bit. Oh, it's still a little hairy. Like something's stuck in there. No, it's okay. There it goes. It's still a little hairy. That's okay though. So I want it to look kind of rough. I think it's this paper. This is really thin. This seems like thinner paper, and I'm pretty sure I used copy paper, printer paper, when I printed this. Okay, I'm getting little bits all over the place. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to grab some ink before we get too far into it. And yeah, that is, look, I really tore that. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of got quite the tear going on there. I could take my scissors. Could. Am I going to do it? That's the question. I could take my scissors and... No, I'm not going to. I'm not. Okay. So this looks good here. So I'm going to grab my magazine again. All these pieces that need to be thrown away. Again, I'm worrying about my mic because I keep touching it. And I need to stop doing that. Okay, here we go. Part of the problem is I'm standing up, and for some reason, I mean, I can sit down and do this, but I like to get up and move around. Lots of times I'm trying to grab something that I can't reach, because you can't have it all within reach. If you can, yay for you. I can't. I've got too much stuff, and I've got it in a few different places in the room. I mean, I can roll around in my chair and grab most of it, but some things I have like on a shelf that's not near me. I have a big shelf behind me that's full of stuff. Okay, this is what we're doing, right? That's the top. Yes. Okay, we're gonna kind of pull in a little bit here. I'll bet you can't see me. Remember, I'm not using my TV as a monitor, so I'm not paying close attention to how much I'm in frame or not. Okay, I think I'm probably going to have to run Vita glue. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to like glue it all up and then screw up how much room I was going to have for a tuck pocket. So now I'm going to come back with this And I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to stick some more glue in there. And then I'm going to come in here. And I'll just make sure that whatever I put in here fits. Okay, so there we are. And just keep scooting that out of the way. So now I want that to dry. Very good. Okay. And I could go ahead and glue this guy down. So here's what I'm looking at. And I do want to go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do a notch. I don't know. Should I? I think I should. Just a little one. I wonder how much that's going to mess with that piece of plastic. And I'm a little worried about the fact that that is not glued down like it could be. I'm going to run a bead of glue through there right now just to make sure that when I do stick something in there, it doesn't, oh, I'm getting on top of it, that it doesn't catch. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I'm about to glue it all. I'm going to glue myself and it completely up, and then I'm not going to have a pocket anymore. So just make sure that that is battened down pretty good there. Yeah, because if I cut into it, then I'm not going to have any way for this not to be a problem. So I think I'll leave it for now. It would have room. It would have room if I needed to come back and just do a small notch. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so I think we're looking good there. I'm probably gonna do this with both glues. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use my glue stick for this flap to get it going. And then if I need to, I'll come back and do precision gluing. It's gonna go right there. Okay, maybe a little in. I mean, this is going to decide it right here, wherever the fold is. And you know, I don't have to have it all the way to the bottom there, but it's okay that it is. So, you know what? I should have inked that. But it's pretty grungy looking. And I may actually put something, because this is going to be the front of the signature. So I may actually embellish it here with something. And that already looks pretty good and grungy. All right. That feels good. Okay. So I think I'm ready to go ahead and get this in here. Little tidbits sticking everywhere, because I just love to cut right over my project. Okay. Got to get all these gathered up, out of the way. Some are making it in the trash, some probably are not. All right, let's see. I feel like that could pop back up. I'm waiting. See there, right there. That's what I was anticipating, was that was gonna be an issue. So I'm gonna just get in there and batten down the hatches. All right. Okay. There. All right. So I'm gonna grab my waxed string and my awl, and somewhere is my needle of choice. Seems to be the one that I'm using lately. I'm going to stick my pin back in my glue. Let's see. It's always on camera that I can't. Yeah, I did pretty good that time. Okay. So I need a cough button. Excuse me. So there's that and that. So about 3 lengths, and I'm being very generous. Because, you know, I don't know. I probably won't have anything dangling off of this. Sometimes I put little beads and bobs and things dangling, you know, down below, but I don't think this is really something that would have something like that. I mean, it's going to be outside and you've got it in your pocket, in your coat pocket, maybe. I'm making stuff up. Okay, I've got my string and everything ready, and I'm just going to make sure I'm really good and lined up. Get to my center page right here. So what I like to do, especially with this much paper, is I like to figure out where the center is, and I'm not going to measure or anything. I like to take my awl and go through, and there it is, coming through. Okay, I'm going to do what I do lots of times and just hold that while I work on getting the getting my needle through the first hole in the center. So there we go. And I've got lots of string left, if you can see under here. So now my awl is holding that steady for me. There it is. I'm going to go, sorry, I'm probably really close. Go through there. Yeah, this wasn't hard to go through either. So just gotta, oh, I'm all wrapped around my own corner back here. Like, where is the tension coming from? I tell you, I'm not a sewer. Everybody who knows me knows I can't. I don't wanna. Okay, let's see. Let me make sure I get this. I can sew on a sewing machine, and if it's a straight line like making curtains, I can do that. But that's about it. My home ec teacher in high school was pretty appalled with most of my projects. I'm really not even sure how I passed, but I don't know. Does anybody flunk out of home ec? I feel like I could have. Like, it wouldn't have been hard to do. Okay, so we're looking good here. The hole's getting kind of big because I keep messing with it. All right. That's going straight through there. Oh, and look. Here's what happens sometimes. My string came out on that side, but voila. Now it's on this side. So it's all good. Everybody's happy. As a matter of fact, that's kind of wanky looking. All right, there we go. So we're going to take the needle out, and we're just going to check and make sure that this is looking good here. I like it. Okay, then I usually do 3 knots for good measure. So there's 1, and there's 2, and so long I'm having trouble with it. And there's 3. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot left over here, but I don't care. I'm not using it, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that tight and just cut it here. That way I've got a little extra inside there. And I keep wanting to save the leftover string, but honestly, I never end up using it. So this looks good. I like that. Spine looks good. Okay. So there's our signature. And we now have a cool little element as a pocket with a tuck pocket that we're going to tuck something in, and I kind of have an idea. So I'm going to regroup. It's getting really late, but I will finish up in this video, and I have an idea about using something. And maybe one of our little guys that we didn't get to use before for our specimen tags is actually going to get used after all. It may even be part of this. So we'll see. I'm going to think about that, and probably going to use a tag similar to the tags that we have for our back for our specimens. And I'm just trying to use up this piece of paper that we started out with. So that, and then I have another idea about what I might do for that flap. So I'll be back. Okay, so now we are working on this little guy right here. And I went ahead and took it upon myself to cut up. Remember, I've still got these pieces here, or this piece, and I cut a piece out of it right here. And remember, we still had, remember this little guy that was so yucky looking? I just love him. I think he's going to get to be part of this tag that we are going to stick in here. And I'm excited to say we are going to use this one, this specimen. I don't think it's going to be a problem over, like I don't think it's going to cuss with these colors. There's a little bit of pink and some white, and this flower kind of has a little more red to it than the pink that's in the rest of it. So I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I mean, I'm obsessing over it, so I don't know. But anyway, I think that's going to be cute. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tag going. I want to make sure that I cut a good size. Yeah, I think that's kind of, see, that's the whole problem with these, with the plastic, or call it cellophane. But anyway, they kind of crinkle and there's little areas where they catch. And I think I'm gonna add a tag so that it's easier to get this in and out of. But I think that's good. I've got some glue there, so remember I had to glue that down so it's not going all the way to the edge, but that's fine. I think this is a good size for this. So anyway, so I want to go ahead and tear this real quick. Froggy throat. I'm just gonna get this going. Oh, I hate to lose all that yucky, stainy area there, but that's okay. There's still plenty to see. So, get going. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like that. Yeah. Let's see. And I feel like, I don't know. Maybe we need to put. I had pulled this Laura. I've still got my little kingdom list there. I don't know, I might pull out. Oh, you know what? I've got a bunch of number pieces. Maybe that's what I need. Something that sort of looks like we numbered our specimen. That's kind of cool. I don't know, that looks a little dainty, a little kind of fancy. Maybe this is better. That looks like something about a store thing. Same with that. That's kind of cool. I think I like that number one. And by that I mean the one that says NO for number. That's not bad. Again, that's a little fancy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one. So it's going to be, this specimen is going to be number 5578. I've got a few more, but this one looks good. Actually, wait a minute. I just saw one. Number 0830. No, I still like this one. Okay, we're going to go with that. So I just, made some random numbers on some paper and then tea stained it and cut them up, and I just use those where I need them. So anyway, okay, I think we're good there. I'm going to go ahead and grab some ink and get this, even though it's already stained, it's going to be inky too. It's flimsy and kind of hairy. All right. Oh yeah, that piece of paper, I don't know. I think I got this from somebody. I did not make this particular piece. This was in a set that I bought that I just needed some pieces that were in it already. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and get some glue on it. Yeah, oh, it's like, it's like when you're in first and second grade and you're learning how to write cursive and stuff. It's got the really wide, big lines with the dotted line in the middle. Yeah. Back to the good old days. Back when life was simple. We didn't think it was simple back then. We were worried about when was recess, what's for lunch. That needs more ink. Sticky there. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit over that way with it. I like things to be a little offset. And then I'm gonna ink up our specimen. That's good. I like that. And that's going to require some different glue that might be kind of stuck. Oh my goodness. Yeah, something's going on in there. Come on. Okay, got an issue. I'm not going to tell you that I might have just used my teeth to pull that out of there. You can just decide whether or not you think I did. So let's just give that a good. And no, I'm not choking on glue. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're okay now. We're okay now. All right. All the glue. All the glue. Okay. I think we're good there. I didn't really think about. I don't want to cover these stains up too much, so maybe we're gonna go, because where's my number? And I'm gonna tear that. Maybe want to put them down low, so I think I'm gonna put this guy kind of off that right about there. I'm liking that. I am going to give this a little bit of a tear on the edge. Do about the same area away from that. I thought I was going to do it down here, but now I'm really liking it for there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let's get that guy inked up. Okay. He's just going to get glued on. I'm already getting all inky. And now sticky. Oh wow, got a little extra there. Get rid of that. Okay, yeah, I like it for right there. Thought I was going to put it down low, but no. You can always change your mind. You know, it's just whatever your eye wants to see. What direction. Yeah, I like that. I think that's going to be cool. And this is going to show up right there. That's perfect. Yeah, it's okay that I can scoot it over. That looks pretty cool. It's a hidden gem. So I think I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. You know, I could make this one a little fancier, but no, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna round all the corners just a little bit. Okay. And you know, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and ink. I'm gonna ink this specimen tag, and I think I'll go ahead and ink the others too while I'm at it. And it's going to be time soon to decide what I'm going to put on those, what sort of string or something I'm going to use on those. So yeah, I like that. Now I really want, instead of a hole and a string or a ribbon or whatever, I want to put a tag, like a tab. I guess I really mean a tab, because I want to be able to, because this can actually go all the way down to there and there, and then it's kind of hard to get out. So I want to put, I've got a tab maker, but maybe I'm looking at all these scraps that I have left over from when I was doing the backgrounds on these, and maybe I want to do like a, maybe I want to do sort of like a tab. Yeah, that's already got a fold. Yeah, why couldn't I do that? Why couldn't I just use that piece of music paper and just tear it off back there? Let's see, tear it off about right here. Gonna hang on to that. Like I said, I like to keep the elements handy because I end up going back and using. Yeah, that's cute. God's hands, who speaks? God's creatures. Still loving the whole nature connotations. All right, so I'm gonna, because this is really white compared to everything else that I'm using here, ink this up good. And the back will be showing, so we're going to do it too. That going. There we go. Okay. On this, I'm gonna use my glue. I'm just gonna go like this. Get on there. I don't want to get it too crazy. All right. Just do this for a minute. So I know I want it about right there. I like the idea of that. I want it covering my number, my NO, but I do want it close. I'm going to do that. And that's good. I didn't get too much, so I'm not going to have a big sticky thing going on there. But I am going to run a little bit of glue just right along here, just to kind of give this some substance. A little bit here. And then I'm really going to get going here because this is the part that's going to stick to my tag. There we go. So it's upside down when you read it on the back, but I don't care. That's a-okay. It looks kind of crooked from this side, but that's because of the way I tore it. But from here, it looks pretty good. It's kind of wet, so we'll make sure you get that good and dry. It actually could just go ahead and dry in here. I want to look at it. See. Come on. Yeah, that's interesting. It's sticking up there. I could put a hole there and a string or whatever, but for right now, I'm just kind of liking it like that. Okay, good deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get these inked while I'm thinking about it real quick. And I have to admit, this is turning into more of a project than I originally was thinking it would be. I was just thinking about a little booklet, you know, just with some paper to write on, and of course my little specimens. I'm going to ink that up a little bit. And now it's got an envelope with an extra tag. And then I'm going to add my little extra something to my flap in the front. That going. And then we're going to have to call this done because, I mean, you can keep adding to it. And certainly you can keep adding to it. And you should, because you're going to be out there in the field making your notes. But I think it's going to be really cute. And I haven't decided. I may give it away. I don't know. Or I may keep it. I have so many journals, including my garden journal that I use all the time, but I really don't need another one. I did make myself one. My name is Alice, and I made myself an Alice in Wonderland. I used the Stamperia Alice in Wonderland set, and I'll show it to you because I want to make another one. I didn't use up all the set on my journal, so I'm going to make another one at some point. And I'll show you the one that I did make for myself, which I love, and I've actually started writing in it. And it has to do with making junk journals and stuff like that. So it's kind of apropos in that respect. Okay, all the ink in the world. Just giving it a little burnished look, or burnt look. Okay, let's close that up. Let's go ahead and put our pen in our glue for a minute, since we already know that we've got issues. Okay, yeah, I'm going to wait to put those in because I want to get the ribbons or whatever I'm going to use in them. So I've got this. Oh yeah, and I was just thinking I really want to use this, and I was talking about how this needs something. So how about if I put this here? Got some sort of sticky on it. How about this? I like that. So back to the ink, because I'm not really sure where else I would put it. And since this is going to be the, the guts, this is going to be where the real action is going to happen. Maybe you need a reminder right here of what you're looking for. If you're going to classify, identify your species, you need to remember that you're looking for all the things about it. I think that might be a good place to have that. And I just wanted to make sure I used it. So how about right there? Then there's still room to, put a title here. And there's all kinds of things we could do. I did think about maybe I need something there, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's just going to be a little bit blank right there. Okay, that looks good. It's nice, and I've got glue all over it with ink, so now it's nice and sticky and kind of grungy looking. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. So I've already used a full sheet of the scrapbook paper, the 12 by 12 craft paper for the book and the pockets. And then I went back and used another page to make these tags and this tag. And I've got these pieces left over. And my first inclination was to make sort of like a little pocket notebook that I'd cut it down maybe to about, maybe about that size. And it would just have something that you could just stick in your pocket, jacket pocket, and you could, take your field notes and, write them down. But that would be so small for this. Well, it could fit, but I've also got this page, which is bigger. So I'm thinking that this would work better. I might cut it down just a little bit. And then I've got some different pieces that I've cut. Well, I've got all those torn pieces and swatches and stuff, but I've got that piece, which is kind of wide, but then I found these, and these are not, I don't think these are tea stained. I think they're just older and they're a little bit discolored. They're still fairly white compared to some of the tea stained stuff, but that seems like a really good size. And I'm trying to use up some of this paper. So I've got all this paper. Why couldn't we do something? Let's see how much room we really have. Let's see. We've got that much that will fit in there. So I think something like, well, first let's cut this down because I think I want to use this paper, but it's only that big. I could get pretty close to the edge with it. So I'm going to mark my cardstock And I'm over here cutting it on that mark. And I ended up with this piece. So here's my piece. Yeah, it's just a little bit larger than the paper. And then, in order to hold it all together, how about I fold over the top of it. I'm going to use I'm not going to get too crazy. I know this gets kind of hairy. So I'm going to use my little folder there. And I don't want it to be, I don't know how many pages I should use. That seems like a lot right there. But maybe not, because I want it to be tucked in tight. And, you know, you want to have enough to write down. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah. So I think I need to cut. Let's see. Over here, I'm measuring, and I see that this is about a little over 6 inches. So I think I need to cut these down to about 6 inches. That's going to work. What I need. No, it's a little over 6.5 inches. Sorry about that. And it doesn't matter. It's just whatever I need to fit in that pocket, under that flap. So I think if I do 6.5 inches, I think that's going to work. So I'm going to take a few at a time. I'm going to go over here, make a bunch of noise, and cut these down to 6.5 inches. See if I can do a few at a time. Yeah. Let's see what this looks like. Perfect. That's what I want right there. Yeah. So that's 6.5 inches. Let me get some more cut. Okay. There's some more. Now I'm going to have all these little bitty pieces. You know, I'm trying to use up, and I need to have a day where I do like some master boards or something. Trying to use up all these extra little bits and parts and tears and pieces. And you always end up with just more, it seems like, every time you do that. But I'm going to make a really concentrated effort to get some stuff used up. So, okay, is that gonna, here we go. This is gonna look like this. So it's kind of pushing those down a little bit, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be. And then this is gonna slide in here. I like it. Yeah, so this is gonna be, oh, so maybe this is gonna be field notes in your botanist journal. And I think I have, in my, yep, right there. Because I just did a whole bunch more of these. Botanical Botanist Journal, Flora, Fauna, Specimens. I just did another whole round of these on some paper. So yeah, we're gonna do field notes. Let's see. How would this work? Right there. How about that? Ooh, I could even cut it instead of tearing it for a change. That might work. Maybe right there. Yeah, let's do that. I'm sure I'm not going to cut it in a straight line, but I think it'll be close enough. I didn't get it straight, did I? Okay, hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna, still don't think it's straight. Okay, I'm gonna go to the cutter and just use the cutter. I can do it such a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, that's close enough. Because I could mess with that all day. Now it's a little bit, okay, dang it. Now I got to take a little bit off the other side because I kept messing with it and making it shorter. I do sort of want a little bit of consistency. Yeah, there we go. I like it. And then I can punch holes here and tie a string. I could sew it. I guess I could sew it, but I feel like it needs a hole punch. And then, the person's got it here and they're writing. Of course, they're probably right-handed, so they're doing it this way. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Get this all inky. Because, this has been what? Sitting around in a drawer, getting aged, and, what's the story with it? Something that's been used over the years or not used. Somebody got it as a gift and they put it in their desk drawer and kind of forgot about it, and then somebody came along and found it years later and thought, oh, this is really cool. Again, I fantasize about ephemera and old ephemera and how, it was used. Or I don't need to ink that, but I am going to ink the back. But I just, just wonder about things, how were they used? Who were they given to? Did people pay for these things? Okay, that looks pretty good. And yeah, our paper's kind of starkly white, but it'll age too. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy glued on just so I can kind of see where I need to put my hole. Okay, picked up some sort of tidbit there. I'm going to put it way down here because I don't want to get involved in where the hole's going to go up here. So I think I can just use I haven't had to get my crocodile out yet. I've just been using my little hand guy here. Okay, we're going to pretend that that's probably in the middle. I'm going to go right in there, I think. Okay. And then I kind of need to see where the holes for these need to go. I know I can't get through all that. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can do it. I think I can just eyeball it. And you know what? If they're a little bit off, they're a little bit off. Again, this is homemade. Homemade. So we're going to go right there. Let's see how close I got. I'm a little bit high on that one, or low, depending on how you're looking at it, but the way I'm looking at it, it's a little bit high. So I'm going to go right in there. Oh, I got a few extras. Oh yeah, that one's better. That one's actually the other way. It's going to be funny. Okay. Some of my pages are going to look longer and some are going to look shorter. And this is not straight. Right there. I think that one's actually kind of perfect. Yeah. Now I could use I could use a brad to hold this all together. That might give it a little more stability. I don't know. We're just going to see. So there we go. Because it would be more forgiving. Oh, yeah, I'm probably going to have to do something like that. Because look at how far off I am from the front. And I think what's happening is yeah, the pages are kind of scooching down. So let's see. I've got brads here somewhere. I am going to do that. I go in this way. It's a little bit off. And you know what? I could fudge that, make it look a little more finished by doing this. I don't know if that actually helps or not, but it wouldn't hurt for sure. I'm going to do that. Okay. So all these pages are kind of moving around on me. I'm going to get that brad in there. There we go. Yeah, that's not bad. And close it up, open it up, I guess is really what you'd say. Turn it just a little bit. Get it going like this. And I want to cover that up because I don't want that hanging or snagging or getting back open. Yeah, my pages are a little wompy, but that's okay. A little womper jawed, but that's okay. Let's see what I've got. I've got some washi tape that would work. Actually, here's something that has like pine cones. This might be kind of, yeah, this is a little bit botanical. It's got some, there's a mushroom. I really only need just a small piece. Or I could do a larger piece. Yeah, I could do a larger piece. Maybe I want to go all the way across the back. So it didn't really matter that I had that reinforcer there. Just because I want to cover that up. Okay, there's that little piece again. I'm going to cut it just to pretend like I'm trying to make it straight. All right. Georgia, yeah, I don't mind that showing. I just want to make sure that I cover up that brad so that that doesn't get in the way of something. And you know, something could go back here. Anything really. Some of my pages are a little loosey-goosey. They move around a little bit, but you know, this is perfect for that spot. And whoever the owner of the book is can just say, okay, well, I'm not, you know, I'm just going out in the field, so I'm not going to take my whole book. I'll write down when I get back what I figured out, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my pocket and put my pencil in there so that I can just take notes as I'm out in the field. So that's my, again, fantasy about that. So yeah, so I think that for the most part, this is done. If I were keeping it, I would work on, you know, embellishing some of these pages and maybe put something here. I do have a few pieces left over from cutting up some of the other pieces and parts, but I just think that it looks good and I like it, and I haven't really decided how it's going to be held together, if it even is. Maybe it's going to have a ribbon or a string, but it seems like it makes more sense for it to be something that would be sturdy. Like I have these little These little guys, this would be kind of small, but it could be held together like that or up at the top. And I don't know. That seems like it wouldn't really hold very well. I do have some of these big brass looking paper clip things. That would work. Yeah, I like that. Hopefully it wouldn't be too bulky to carry around. Yeah, I think that's probably how we're gonna manage that. And get rid of these. Okay, I haven't forgotten that I'm supposed to be figuring out some kind of something. Oh yeah, my little flora thing. I'm not using that. I'm not using those. Put my washi tape up. Close a few things. So I've just got to figure out what I'm going to use. Do I want to use different strings, ribbon? What do I want to put in there? Let's see. I've got a lot of ribbon, but I'm thinking something more like a string. I mean, I could use kitchen twine. I have a lot of that, but I also have these things that I got from Hobby Lobby. They sell 1 yard pieces of just, I guess it's just remnants from, other uh, ribbon spools that they've had. These are kind of lacy and dainty, and they come in a clump. And they're just all mixed together and stuck together, and you just have to keep unfurling them. And so when I did that, I thought, you know what, I'm going to kind of color code them and put them together kind of by what material they are. So I think all that's just a little bit too dainty looking for this application. But I do have, and these were weird. These kept sticking to everything. So they're kind of hairy and hard to untangle from other stuff. So they got their own little section here. And those are kind of neat, but I don't know that they're going to work out either. I'm really kind of loving either these kind of brown, almost have a little sheen to them, different colors of brown. Oh, I like that one. It's kind of a rusty brown. Maybe you can see the color. And I like these taupe ones too. Those are kind of neat. So maybe, I mean, I don't think I've gotten into this piece yet. So maybe I can just cut this whole thing up and just use this whole thing. So, and they actually come through and they burn or burn the ends so that they don't fray, but I'm going to cut them up so it doesn't matter. They're probably going to fray. So I think for the little ones, I don't need very much. I mean, I just need something that's just sort of going to show that they're a tag. So maybe get into it like do 2 at once. Yep, see, they're fraying. So, but that's okay because I'm going to use this and go through here and make it tiny. Maybe it's too tiny. Yeah, that's all I want. I don't want anything too big. I don't want it getting all tangled up in there. That one I like. We'll go ahead and use this other small one right here. Just do a little, what do you call it? A lark's head. Knot. Yeah. I used to call it larkspur, actually. Which, I love gardening, so don't judge. Okay, I'm going to make this one a little bit longer because that was a little bit harder to get in there. So I'm going to split the difference there. No measuring. This is the one we didn't put the reinforcer on. We've got that. go. It's a little offset, and I like that. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use all these. I'm going to make these a little bit longer. They don't have to be that too long, but they're bigger. Seems like they need something a little longer. So I can get my fingernails in there. I'm liking that. And this one can be about right here. So I've still got this whole piece that I can use for something else. Who knows? Maybe I'll go back and rework that little field notes thing and incorporate a string in there. I don't know. Do you call this ribbon? I don't know that see, I think a ribbon is more flat. I think this is more like a string. Okay, liking it. So back to this. This guy's looking good. He could have a string too, but at this point I'm not doing it. So we're going to put all of our specimens back where they go. And like that there. I don't know. I change it every time. Or do I? No. I'm switching these. I don't want purple next to purple, I guess. I don't know. That just looks a little more pleasing to me. These can stay out a little bit. That one could stay up and that one down. Look at all my specimens that I gathered out in the field. I've got this special one here that needs to be in its own little pocket. I keep pulling that out and then I can't get it back in. It's because of the cellophane stuff. There it goes. And then I've got my field notes booklet up here in my little tuck pocket and my flap. And this is what I'm looking for when I go out. And here we are. I've got a botanist journal because I'm a botanist. And that concludes this. So I hope you stuck with me. I hope you enjoyed watching this. It was a lot of fun putting it together. Hope it wasn't too painful when I was trying to pick out things and whatever I, was waffling about. So anyway, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you join me again. And if you're out and about in the field, pick up some specimens and have fun.